All right, all right, all right. Good evening, Cycle Oregon. How's everybody doing this evening? Good. It's great to see everybody tonight. It's actually really great to see everybody tonight. So thanks everybody for showing up. My name is Steve Schultz. It's a privilege and an honor to be the Executive Director of Cycle Oregon. And I'd like to officially welcome you to the kickoff party. So before we get going, I would like to just thank some of our champion sponsors that help me do what we do so well and help us put on these great bike rides with you all. First off, the Bike Gallery, Kelly and his crew. They keep us riding on the road all summer long. So thank you, Kelly and his crew. Our partners over at Travel Oregon, who help us spread the word and help build rural Oregon throughout the state. So thank you, Travel Oregon. And to the folks at Airstream Adventures Northwest, Ted and his crew that take us along in style and show us how to really experience the great outdoors. So thank you, Ted, and your crew. So we also have a lot of other sponsors and partners, and I'd just like to give a call out to all those guys. Thank you so much for helping us do what we do. A big thank you to the Cycle Oregon team. I work with some of the greatest folks I could ever imagine. Totally committed to what we do and to make sure you guys have a great time and a safe time on the road. So thank you to them. I'd like to thank our volunteer board of directors who help support us along the way, give us direction, help push us along. So thank you to you guys. Of course, the communities that host us every year on all our events, we could not do that without them, and they are always there to open the door and say welcome. So thank you to the host communities. And then most importantly, you all, the riders. Thank you for what you do. Without your continued participation and support, we would not have been here for 31 years. So we wouldn't have been able to carry out our mission to provide economic benefit, promote the vitality of Oregon, and do it by simply riding a bicycle, which has got to be one of the best things out there we can do. So on that note, as many of you are aware, we didn't quite finish last year like we had planned it. As a result of wildfires and smoke hazards, for the first time ever, we had to cancel one of our events, which was the Classic. Believe me, it would have been a hell of a lot easier to do the event than to work through the cancellation. But we learned a lot from that cancellation. We learned that as an organization, we can always make improvements on how we do things and how we say things. We learned that we need to have a deeply developed plan C, not just a plan B, maybe even a plan D. We learned that a whole lot of folks other than this community suffered as a result of those wildfires last year. Just in Oregon, 665,000 acres burned last summer. That's the state of Rhode Island. So think about that. A whole state would have been wiped out. And we learned that we really look forward to that second week in September. And I'm glad that a lot of you guys were able to get out and do some fun stuff in areas that were not impacted by those fires. You know, for the first time ever, we as a community found ourselves unable to support and give a boost to those rural communities that we count on and work on our events all year long. We weren't able to visit the local tavern, have the coldest beer and the best burger in the county, right? Say hi to the locals, thank them for serving us that. We weren't able to look into the eyes of that young girl from 4-H as she served us watermelons at the rest stop and say thank you. And we weren't able to spend countless hours with kindred folk as we roll along some of the most breathtaking areas this state has to offer. But we were able to do something. So through the generosity of many of you all and other Cycle Oregon supporters, over $128,000 was donated to the Cycle Oregon Fund to help those communities. So in total, over $140,000 was granted back to those communities which suffered not only from Cycle Oregon not being there, but from a whole season of wildfires that impacted people coming to visit them throughout the year. So a sincere thank you. I'm not going to lose it. From the team, from the board, all the volunteers and all the communities. This is why we do what we do on a bicycle, and we thank you very much for that. You know, it reinforced to us that even through this adversity, this community is resilient, is dedicated, and is caring. This is your brand. This brand is strong. You care about the state, you care about the communities, you care about your fellow riders, and you care that we can continue to explore this state every year by the seat of a bicycle. And we are honored to have you as part of this Cycle Oregon community, and we are truly humbled. So thanks. So you may have noticed the slide behind me. It's a little bit different than what you've seen in the past. Ride. It's the essence of what we do and who we are. We ride, and we ride for the brand. A brand that promises to continue to offer transformational experiences throughout the state while we support rural Oregon on a bike. You know, people ask me, how is it to work for Cycle Oregon? I'm like, it's great. Well, August, I probably wouldn't have said it was great, but I'm like, it's great. I said, we basically get to throw parties and give away the leftover beer. That is a really great job. That is a really great job. But for some, Cycle Oregon's events are deeply purposeful. They're an annual pilgrimage to once again feel small and the awesomeness of Oregon's raw and unrelenting beauty. Some see it as a chance to unplug and recalibrate to their true north. And some see it about crushing miles and logging elevation gain. Ted, Team Airstream, talking to you. Yet for all of us, it's this camaraderie shared with fellow riders and the volunteers, and the connection to Oregon and its tough-as-nails advocate residents that make Cycle Oregon a tradition. So we will ride on. We hope you're excited, and as excited as we are about 2018 and what we have to offer for you. I share this excitement with a fantastic board of directors that it's a privilege to work beside. And I'd like to bring out our Vice President, Jackie Yerby. She's going to tell you a little bit about what we were able to do in 2017. Jackie?
Yes. Woo! All right. Woo! Okay. Hello, Cycle Oregon. Woo! I am really happy to see you. And I'm happy to tell you about the good work that we're able to do with your support. At Cycle Oregon, we are dedicated to transforming individuals and communities through bicycling, but I think you know that. Proceeds from the rides go to the Cycle Oregon Fund, which helps preserve and protect the special places of Oregon and support community development projects in the regions through which we ride. Since the fund's inception, Cycle Oregon has awarded 238 grants totaling $1.9 million through our community and signature grants. You've heard us talk about the Salmonberry Trail. The Cycle Oregon Fund is a big part of making that a reality, and we continue to support this project. Someday, we'll be able to ride all the way from Portland to the coast on the Salmonberry Trail, and that will be a great day. In 2017, we made a total of $94,825 in community grants that span installing fix-it stations and bike lockers to supporting efforts to rebuild or remodel community spaces. In Chiloquin, we're helping to convert a community center meeting room into a multi-purpose, technology-enabled distance learning classroom and interactive conference space. Here, folks will have access to high-speed internet and educational programs. In Halfway, a community close to our hearts, we're helping to rebuild and upgrade, kind of needs a big upgrade, the 90-year-old exhibit hall at the Halfway Fairground that was crushed to toothpicks, as you can see, in the winter of 2017. Closer to home, we're supporting Portland's own Community Cycling Center. Woo! In delivering the Bicycle Mechanics STEM education program at 2 alternative high schools. The Bicycle Mechanics STEM education program begins in a classroom. From there, students can apply to continue that education through paid internships like Gabby has. Gabby's the one on the right. Okay, sorry. A paid internship at the Community Cycling Center was Gabby's first job, and that experience is now indelibly printed on her resume. And the Cycle Oregon community, all of you folks, have helped make that possible. Thank you for riding with us, for being part of this amazing community, for making it possible for us to preserve and protect the special places in this city we love. I'm going to turn it back over to Steve so that we can get to the really good part and tell us where we're going to ride this year. See you on the road.
Thank you, Jackie. That great work is one reason that we ride, and the other is, well, it's really great to spend a whole day on your bicycle, and you don't have to worry about anything but riding your bike. So with your help, Cycle Oregon will continue to grow and reach all corners of the state, continue to engage cyclists in unparalleled experiences on their bike, and have a great time doing it. Through grants, through advocacy, through philanthropy, we'll help support the vitality of this great state and engage our rural communities. You all like to ride your bikes, that's why you're here too. So we put together a little piece to try and capture what this community is all about and to set the stage for tonight's show. So let's take a look.
The best way to really understand what Cycle Oregon is all about is by going for a ride with us. Cycle Oregon started right here in the Northwest with a small group of dedicated Oregonians and a big idea to help support rural Oregon and to do it from the seat of a bicycle. For 30 years, we have been putting on bucket list caliber rides through some of Oregon's most unforgettable landscapes and communities, all the while helping to preserve and protect them. So just who are these cyclists? They're loyal, they're engaged, and around here, they're family. With the help of countless riders, communities, volunteers, and partners, Cycle Oregon puts on 4 fully supported signature events each year. To our state, we bring vital revenue to rural Oregon, contributing millions of dollars in grants and community payments to help Oregon communities thrive. These connections to great brands, to their fellow cyclists, and to Oregon communities are what keep riders coming back year after year after year. We are Cycle Oregon.
So anybody notice something different on that video? Well, in case you missed it, we'll take a little peek at what's in store. So what do you think? Is that all right? Can we do that? Gravel, newest offering from Cycle Oregon. Looks pretty fun, doesn't it? So this October, join us for a 2-day gravel fest down roads less traveled. We're setting up camp in Tillamook State Forest, just outside of Timber, Oregon, and giving riders a variety of heart-pumping, pedal-churning options to choose from each day. Here you'll have the same Cycle Oregon amenities that you have on every one of our other events. We have hot showers, cold beer, live music, locally sourced meals, and a rockin' good time. On your bike, you'll feel the calm of the forest as you crank through the firs and fern, and the spruce and salal. An amazing opportunity to get out, ride your bike, take in broad vistas with virtually no traffic. So some of you may be asking, what's gravel riding? It's basically riding on unpaved roads. So it's not like a mountain bike, it's not a single track type trails, but more like a packed dirt gravel trail. You typically run a little wider tire. I can feel some of the wheels that are turning in your heads. So if anybody needs a note for a new bike, just email me. I'll convince them that you need that. Now, you may have noticed that amazing trestle in the video. That is the former Pacific Railway and Navigation line, which will eventually become the Salmonberry Trail. One day we will ride, as Jackie said, basically from Portland to the coast on that trail. Now, as much as we'd like to, we are not going to ride that in October. But you will be able to see parts of the trail as we're riding along, but most of it will be hidden away, only to be discovered at another time. Now, the whole area we're going to ride in was part of the Tillamook Burn. So the Tillamook Burn was a catastrophic series of large forest fires that began in 1933 and ran through 1951, burning 335,000 acres. So think about half the state of Rhode Island burned in this very forest over that series of years. Between 1949 and 1972, 72 million seedlings were hand-planted in that forest, as well as another billion seeds dropped from helicopters. And in 1973, then Governor Tom McCall dedicated the Tillamook Burn as the Tillamook State Forest. Now, it's a beautiful, productive forest again, and we get to return to the burn and ride all through it. Right? So we can only hope that the areas of wildfires that we had last year will turn into another forest and be reborn again, just like this one. Now, remember, this is an adventure, though it's up to you how fast or slow you ride this. And for folks that want a little more mileage, the start is only about 30 miles from Portland. So we are going to give you an opportunity to drop your bags with us, and y'all can ride out there, and we'll bring your bags out to you, and we'll meet you there Friday night at the beer garden, basically. So come out, test your grit, and enjoy the challenges of this first-of-its-kind backroads adventure, our gravel. And while you're out there, you can be sporting this really sweet jersey. I think this is so cool. I do, sorry. But staff was like, I want one now. So that's what we got, day 1 and day 2. Day 1, short, medium, and long. We have 15, 29, and 43 miles. And day 2, 17, 29, and 38. Now, some of you hard roadies are going, 38 miles, dude, I can handle that. It's a little bit harder on a gravel bike. So, before you get too carried away, you can still ask for that bike. I'll still ride you right to the note. So, great. So that is our gravel. You guys can come in October. Cool. So, let's move on. So, ladies, we heard you loud and clear that you like your own gig, right? So, let's take a look at what this Joyride's all about.
I look up and I see Stoller Vineyards right there in front of me, and I see other cars that have bikes on them, and I knew I was home. I knew that something amazing was about to happen and that my friends were going to be there waiting for me. It's beautiful, the landscape is amazing, and you'll go through rolling hills. You'll see a vineyard right there in front of you. Joyride is a magical time to reconnect with your friends, make new friends, and the best part is to rediscover yourself.
That looks pretty fun, doesn't it? So, Joyride. So we will again be holding Joyride at Stoller Family Estates in Wine Country. This year we will have 3 new routes for you guys to ride on, for those of you who have been with us before, that will suit all riding abilities, so it's open to anybody that can ride a bike. You can converse on the quiet back roads through the wine country, or you can challenge your friend to the next rest stop to get the local berries, fresh muffins, chocolate. And we'll finish back at the vineyard for a locally sourced gourmet meal, live music, and socializing with all your friends, old and new. And of course, Stoller's fantastic wines will be there. So, I think the video spoke for itself. Come out and join us for a day of sisterhood, scenery, and cycling at the Joyride. And you can have a little bling to wear while you're out there. Bling's always fun to wear. So our Joyride again this year is June 9th, out at Stoller Family Estates with 3 routes, basically 16 to about 65 miles. And all women, all levels. Sorry, fellas, not for you, but you can come volunteer. We can always use a good set of hands. So, come and join us. All right. So the next month, our legendary 2-day bike bash, full of riding bikes, kicking back, and celebrating summer, will go underway. So let's take a look where we're going. Well, summer can't get here fast enough. That looks like a great time. So after 14 years, we're finally making a Quack Attack in July on the University of Oregon campus. It's been a long time coming. From Friday night to Sunday afternoon, U of O will play host to our weekender, allowing us to take over the campus and the surrounding countrysides and really get ourselves into the weekend. Now, as always, we'll have multiple routes for multiple abilities, so you can fit every level of cyclist. We'll zen out as we ride on lightly traveled countryside roads, visiting the small towns along the way. We'll travel these back roads along rivers, past fields, and through forested passageways. After a day in the saddle, we'll shift gears a little bit to party mode on the campus as we listen to live music, have a cold beer, and hang out with great friends that'll make your evenings feel a little bit too short. After evenings like these, the riding becomes almost secondary. This is the highlight of the summer cycling season, one of the most fun weekends you're gonna have, so be sure to join us on the weekender. Right? U of O, right? And a nice weekender jersey, U of O colors. So the weekender details, July 15th through the 13th through the 15th, Ride Like a Duck, day one. Doesn't that map kind of look like a duck stamp? I just think it looks like a duck stamp. 17, 41, and 76 miles. And day two, 11 miles, 45, and 62 miles. So something for everybody. So, weekender in July, U of O. Come out and join us for that. All right. So we're running out of events, so that leaves us one more, the Classic. So we all were disappointed last year not having our 30th anniversary out at Crater Lake. And while this is technically the 31st year of Cycle Oregon, it is still the 30th running of the Classic. So we will be celebrating the 30th. So please come join us for that. Stoic peaks, deep canyons, sweeping vistas, and welcoming communities. These are the experiences that grab hold and don't let go. These are the things that are embedded in our being after being on the Classic. Those of you who have done that know what I'm talking about. So let's see if we can set your stage here for 2018.
When you're out there logging the miles, breathing the air, feeling the history of the landscape as it rolls out beneath your tires, these places become much more than dots on a map. They become deep personal experiences. They become that place where you made a lifelong friend, or where you had that moment that will forever be burned in your memory, or that time when you almost gave up, but then didn't. The mountains, the rivers, the fields, the communities, the steady climbs and the thrilling descents. Yeah, after September 8th, these places on the map will never again be just places on the map.
Any recognizable features in that video for anybody? So this year, Cycle Oregon's 30th Classic is taking you to Eastern Oregon. So let's see where you'll be on September 8th. So starting community, this historic town is nestled between two towering mountain ranges. It was once boomed as the gold rush days and was known as the Queen City of the Mines. It's a bit more sedate these days, but what hasn't changed is its historic district. This is one of the few towns where the old Oregon Trail goes straight through town. It has over 100 buildings on the National Historic Register, and if that weren't enough, it's home to an award-winning brewery. So, anybody have any ideas? We'll start this classic in Baker City. All right, let's get started. Day one, Flavor Country. So today we rise and shine with the Baker City sun as we navigate through town heading east. As you warm up, take a look at the vistas all around you. These are the same vistas that were experienced on the Oregon Trail more than 150 years ago. 175. Do I have a 200? We'll follow along the Powder River for most of the day as we head towards Richland, where we'll stop for lunch. If you feel like a little more adventure, we have an option for you. About 23 miles from the start, you can roll off the pavement and on to Sparta Lane. This is an unbelievably well-kept dirt road that will lead us to the top, and I do mean up to the top, of the mesa where the views are unparalleled. You'll pass through the community of Sparta before spinning across the high desert towards a mesa, or towards a descent into Richland to meet the rest of the folks for lunch. As is a typical Cycle Oregon move, we will have a climb after lunch. Sorry about that. A steady 7-mile climb that rewards you with visions of tomorrow's peak adventure as you take a downhill cruise into the first overnight community of Halfway. So, day one, Flavor Country. Let's take a look at the map. Baker City to Halfway. Mostly downhill. Now there's a little gravel part that goes up right there. 54 miles, it's about 2,900 feet of elevation gain. Gravel adds about another 2,000 feet of elevation gain. It goes up, but it's well worth it. All right, let's move on to day two. Day two, Panorama. So prepare for the ride of a lifetime. This is a bucket list caliber climbing day. The climb from Pine Valley to the High Wallowas is one of the most memorable we've ever put our wheels on. As we bid farewell to magical Halfway, we'll begin on a gradual descent along Pine Creek before we turn left onto legendary Forest Road 39. Yes, we will. We'll parallel North Pine Creek as we begin climbing through the pine-scented forest of the Wallowa National Forest. And climb we will. So for about the next 18 miles, we get to see how all that training paid off on your biggest challenge of the week. For those truly seeking reward, you want to take the optional Hells Canyon Overlook jaunt. To call it spectacular would be an understatement. Now, they say on a clear day you can see Chicago. That's how good it looks from up there. After a screamingly fun descent, we'll have lunch along the banks of the Imnaha River, fueling up for our next post-lunch climb. You'll conquer that challenge. It's a mere 11 miles. And then we're going to take a quick descent down, and then a few more miles back up to the Salt Creek summit. But from there, you're rewarded with a 10-mile descent, soaking up all the views along Little Sheep Creek. Then you have one more shore climb. But that's it, I promise. At this point, we ran out of climbs. We found no other hills to go after. So after that climb, we'll roll through the valley, then through the town of Joseph, before finally arriving at the base of the Alps of Oregon for our night's retreat beside Wallowa Lake. We're going back, baby. We're going back. So day two, Panorama, halfway to Wallowa Lake. I'll let the map speak for itself. And you had an EKG recently? It's kind of like that. So 78 miles and about 6,700 feet of climbing. The Hells Canyon Overlook adds 6 miles and just a little bit more climbing. But it's 3 up and 3 down. It's well worth the effort. All right, So far, so good? Okay. Day 3, Sacred Waters. So today we'll leave the Wallowas behind as we head west toward new mountain ranges. We'll pass through Joseph and then into Enterprise, where the adventurous folks will have to make another decision. Once in Enterprise, if you want to get off the tarmac again, we have another great route for you to ride. We'll head north off the main course, heading for the bluff above town. And from here, you'll take in the wide open vistas as far as you can see in front of you, with the Wallowas directly behind you. It's pretty phenomenal. After 15 miles, we'll drop back down into the town of Wallowa, where we'll meet up with the main route, and we'll have a little snack and refuel. Together, we'll ride into the Wallowa River Canyon, headed for lunch, Riverside in Minam, on the banks of the Minam River, where the Wallowa River meets the Minam River, and then those flow into the Grand Ronde. After lunch, we have another climb as we summit the ridge of the picturesque Minam Grade. But then after that, it's basically a downhill roller coaster into our next overnight stay in Elgin. So, day 3, Sacred Waters. Wallowa Lake to Elgin, pretty gradual downhill. A little gravel option for those that would like it. There's that little hill at the end, and then a downhill roller coaster. So 60 miles, about 1,800 feet of climbing, so a pretty easy day. Gravel adds about another 1,000 feet of climbing. So again, about that note, if you need a gravel bike, email me and I'll write you a note. So, okay, we're moving on. Day 4, over the hump. So we'll leave, yeah, you got that, huh? Hump, over the hump. We'll leave Elgin with the biggest part of the day directly upon us. We'll head out into the Umatilla National Forest as we quickly warm up and climb into the Blue Mountains. At the summit, we'll pause, refuel, and take heart in the fact that the hills are mostly behind us now. We'll roll across the top of the Blue Mountains before we finally get to plunge down the other side for lunch in Quake Weston. Following lunch, we'll have a gradual climb up through the rolling crops as far as the eye can see. We'll sneak through a gap and then take an ear-to-ear, grin-inducing descent through the Thorn Hollow curves before rolling into our next overnight stay and layover day in Pendleton. So, day 4, over the hump, Elgin to Pendleton. There's your quick hump in the morning, then you're rolling for most of the day. Big day, 75 miles and 5,200 feet of elevation gain. So we have a layover day in Pendleton. I wonder what we can do in Pendleton. All right, day 5, round up and roundabout. So today is layover day, so you have some options. One, you can take off on the 55-mile loop, rolling through the farmland, with lunch in Echo, and then following the Umatilla River back along wind-beaten cliffs to Pendleton. 2, you can let her buck and take in the world-famous Pendleton Rodeo and the Happy Canyon Pageant. 3, you can belly up to the longest continuous bar in the country at the famous Let Her Buck Room. People watch all day and night. Or 4, you can do all of the above. Might be a busy day, but you can ride in the morning and go to the rodeo in the afternoon. It is very doable. The Pendleton Roundup crew has put together, either way, make sure that you take a stroll into historic Pendleton and soak up some of that small town goodness. Now, the Roundup crew has put together some great options for joining in the Roundup festivities. So in addition to holding a special seat section for us while we're there, they've come up with some other great ways to get down and personal in Pendleton. So once you've registered for the event, you'll be able to decide how you want to let her buck during our visit. And if you haven't already, today would be a great day to fly the Cycle Oregon Classic jersey This was designed based on the historic Pendleton blankets, so we're excited for that. And for those of you that were scheduled to ride with us in 2017, you'll be able to fly this limited edition for you only 2-year anniversary jersey, 17-18 on that. Compliments of Cycle Oregon for joining us again this year, so thank you for your support. So let's look at day 5 for our roundup and roundabout. Pendleton Loop back to Pendleton. It's a pretty easy rollout. You can do it in the morning, come back, do the Pendleton roundup in the afternoon. 54 miles, 2,300 feet of elevation gain. Now we've got some special guests tonight. Members of the Rodeo Court and the Happy Canyon Pageant have come all the way from Pendleton to welcome us to Pendleton, so let's welcome them to the kickoff. So they let me know that if we sell out, they're going to ride the first leg in spandex with their cowboy hats on. So I'd really like to see that, so let's see if we can make that happen. So these guys have come all the way over to Pendleton to say welcome. They're going to hang out for the rest of the night, talk to you guys about the roundup, and I just really thank you guys for making the trip over here. It's really special. You guys can, you can spread out. You can take a seat. Tom will get you a beer. Came all the way over here. So these guys will be around for the rest of the night, so please shake a hand, thank them for coming, and find out a little bit about the roundup. It is going to be a fun day in Pendleton when Cycle Oregon gets there again. All right, let's keep moving on. We're almost there. Day 6, Slaw and Steady. All right, so seeing as this is post-layover and post-roundup and Letterbuck room, we figured we should keep it relatively tame today. That being said, we do have some climbing to do. But it's nice and steady, right? So our first big challenge is back into the Blue Mountains, up what the locals call Cabbage Hill. So get it, cabbage, slaw, cabbage, slaw. Okay. It's not as fun when I have to, call it out. I thought that was really clever. So Emigrant Road snakes its way up this hill, revealing breathtaking views from every turn. Shortly after we summit, we'll take a pause at Dead Man's Pass. I didn't ask why it's called that, and I don't want to know why it's called that. From here, we'll roll back over the top of the Blues before another great descent through forests of pine, spruce, and fir. We'll head for lunch on the banks of the Grand Ronde River before finishing our day rolling out to our bittersweet last night in La Grande. Slaw and Steady. Day 6. Pendleton to La Grande. There's a little bit, it's gradual. It's gradual. It's a little gradual. All right, 56.5 miles, 4,700 feet of elevation gain. We're almost there. We're almost there. So day 7, the last go-round, right? Last go-round. See, I'm getting some cowboy hat on, so I appreciate that. So, in case last night's festivities have you moving a little slowly, perhaps a little too much karaoke from hell on the last night, perhaps. Well, relax and enjoy the ride because the hills are mostly behind us now. I promise, really. So say goodbye to LeGrand as we head for the historic town of Union. After we grab a snack, stop by the local Union County Museum and find out a little bit about that historical county. We'll then head south and take a gentle climb through the farmlands and sage, heading for North Powder. Then we'll take the next 20 miles basking in the foothills of the Elkhorn Mountains. We'll make our final approach along the back roads of Baker County, past the locals waving eagerly as we ride on by from their front porches. A finish line celebration awaits in Baker City where we'll toast each other and the experiences that we will always hold close. This was a week that you can definitely brag about around the water cooler. All right, day 7. The last go-around, LeGrand to Baker City. Look at that, it's basically flat. All right, 58 miles, 1,800 feet of elevation. You get that going over the bridge, practically, coming across the river. So, that is your 2018 Classic 30 Pendleton Roundup in the Wallowas. 383 miles and 2,400 feet of climbing with all the options, 451 miles and 29,000 feet of climbing. So Baker City halfway, Wallowa Lake, Elgin, Pendleton, and LeGrand. What do you think? Can we do this? I think we can do this. All right. That is what we have in store for you this year. So we have the Joyride, the Weekender at U of O, the Gravel Ride at Tillamook State Forest, and your Classic in Eastern Oregon. So tonight, early registration opens. So all of you that rode with us last year should have gotten an email in your email box on Friday from noreply@events.com. So if you did not see it, check your spam, check your focus, unfocused, check whatever boxes you have and find that. That has a unique URL that will bring you to early registration. That starts at 9 o'clock tonight. For those of you that were in the door and received a card, that too has a unique URL on it. So don't go to the CycleOregon.com website and go, where do I do this? It won't be open yet. It's only open to you all. So that starts at 9 o'clock tonight, so in about an hour, and then it closes at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So you can do it tonight or in the morning, get that done. Tomorrow, February 1st, noon Pacific, it opens all events for everybody. So, go home, get on your computers, sign up, and we will see you on the road. Thank you all for coming. It means the world.